Alright guys, in this video, let's see how to pass and read route parameters. Here is what we are going to do. In the department list component, we will have a list of departments: Angular, Node, MongoDB, Ruby, and Bootstrap. Each of them have a corresponding ID, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. When you click on a department, we will navigate to the department detail component, passing the ID of the department as a route parameter. And in the department detail component, we will read that route parameter and display the ID in the view. For example, you click on Angular, it says you selected department with ID is equal to 1. So let's see how to do this. To get us started, I've already added some code in the department list component. We have an array of departments. Each department has an ID and a name. In the view, we use the ngFor directive to iterate over each department and display the ID and the name. I've also added some classes, badge, and items to apply some styling to our list of departments. So if you run the application, this is what the list looks like. We have department list, Angular, Node, MongoDB, Ruby, and Bootstrap. Now what we need to implement is when I click on Angular, the URL should change to departments/1, and we should be presented with the department detail component view where it says you selected department with ID is equal to 1. So the first step is to generate the department detail component and configure a new route for it. Let's go back to Visual Studio Code. In the terminal, run the command ng g for generate, c for component, department-detail, -it for inline template, -is for inline style. Once the component is generated, let's add a route to navigate to this component. So in approuting.module.ts file, in the routes array, add a new object. The path is going to be departments/:id, and this :id is a placeholder for a route parameter. Since we are passing the ID of the department, I've named it :id. And the component is going to be department detail component. Make sure to import it and add it to the routing components list. Alright, so that is our first step. The next step is to navigate to this route when we click on a department. So let's see how to navigate to a route from code. In the department list component, we are going to bind to the click event on each department. So in the li tag, click and assign a method name on select. To this method, we are going to pass in the department as an argument. And let's define this onSelect method. OnSelect department, and in this method, we need to navigate to the new route. And for navigating from code, we make use of the router service. So let's first import it. Import router from Angular/router, and then we inject it. So in the constructor, private router of type router. Now we make use of the router instance. In the onSelect method, this .router, and then we call the navigate method. The argument to this method is what is known as a link parameters array. And it is all the information that Angular needs to construct the URL. We are going to pass two items to this parameters array. The first one is the path we want to navigate to. So /departments. The second one is the route parameter, and this is the department ID, department.id. Departments followed by the ID corresponds to the newly configured route, departments/:ID. Now with this information, Angular's router constructs the URL as /departments/ID. Let's save this and test it out to see if it works. npm start. Go back to the browser, and if I click on Angular, the URL is /departments/1. But hang on, we are getting page not found component, so there is a problem with our configured route. Let's go and take a look. And there you go, we have missed out a T in the spelling of departments. So now if we recompile our application, go back to the browser, go to 4200, click on Angular, you can see that the URL is /departments/1 and the department detail component is being displayed. If I go back to departments, click on node, it says /departments/2. So we are able to pass parameters while routing. You can see the parameter in the URL. That's half of what we wanted to implement. The second half, we want to read this parameter and display it in the view. And for that, we make use of what is known as the activated route service. Let's go to the department detail component this time. And over here, we are going to import it. Import activated route from Angular/router. And then inject it. So in the constructor, private route, this is going to be an instance of the activated route service. Next, in the ng-on-init method, we read the route parameter. Let id is equal to parseInt. We have access to the service, so this .route, and this service gives us a snapshot of the current route. .snapshot, and from this snapshot we use the param_map API, which helps us get the parameter from the URL. And for us, that parameter is the ID parameter. So from the current route snapshot, get the ID parameter from the URL. So from the current route snapshot, get the ID parameter and assign it to the local variable ID. And then we can bind this ID to the view. So create a new property, public department ID, and in ng-on-init, this .department ID is equal to ID. In the view, let's change the template, h3 tag. You selected department with ID is equal to interpolation department ID. Now let's save this and go back to the browser and click on departments and then Angular. You can see that it says you selected department with ID is equal to 1. If I click on node, you selected department with ID is equal to 2. So we are passing and reading route parameters. To quickly summarize, here's what we did. In app routing module, we created a route with a placeholder for the parameter. To pass a parameter while navigating, we make use of the router service. It has a navigate method to which we can pass a link parameters array. To read the parameter, we make use of the activated route service. We use the snapshot of the current route and use the param API to read the required parameter. We can then bind it to our view using interpolation. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next video.